Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I am one of your hosts, Nighthawk, and we're going to have my brother Dennis and hopefully Carlito on here pretty soon. We're going to get into the subject of CERN and the New World Order. Yes, I said it, the New World Order. Okay, but before that, I'm going to go over a few things. Get that off of there. I just wanted to put that up there. And okay, let's put that. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. Let's put that up. This is our copyright disclaimer. This channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it's used under the Fair Use Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all podcasts and all hosts claim fair use of any and all content, that's any and all content, to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for news reporting, commentary, criticism, research, teaching, parody, and everything else under the sun, under educational and personal use. So we do declare the Fair Use Act of 1976 for any and all material, including the music. So, that being said, let me take that off of there and put something else up. I got a couple announcements I want to go over real quick. Okay. Let's see here. No, I don't have that up here. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the original. Okay, we're going to go back to this one. All right. Now, before I bring Dennis on and, like I said, hopefully Carlito's not in the back yet, not in the back room, but I'm sure he will be there. There are a few things going on with YouTube and all that into the Red Rabbit Hole, we get into some subject matter that is very, very deep, very, very controversial. Otherwise, it wouldn't be dubbed conspiracy theories. Okay. So that being said, I am putting together a whole new format on some opposing channels. I don't know if I'm going to keep Facebook on the link to the channels, but I do plan on using Rumble, Twitter, and Twitch for a new profile of a programming called Disclosure, the whole story. And Disclosure is going to cover everything that nobody wants to talk about. Okay, it's going to cover, everything from the secret space missions to cattle mutilations to alien abductions, all kinds of weird stuff. Okay, it's going to cover super soldier programs, all that kind of stuff, basically everything under the sun. If you can think of it, we'll go over it. A lot of the missing flights, that kind of information, the missing 411 people we're going to go over. There's a lot we need to discuss. I've got my feelers out to try and get none other than Jesse the Body Ventura on here to go on Disclosure, the whole story, and give his 2 cents on what's going on in the world. So, his 2 cents and my 2 cents might be able to buy you 2 cups of coffee. So, who knows? Anyways, that being said, I am going to bring my brother Dennis on. We're still waiting for Carlito. I don't know where he is, but I'm going to bring Dennis on, and we're going to get this buffet on the road. Okay?
On the road and off the rails.
Yep, definitely off the rails. So yeah, I'm still waiting on Carlito to show up. It's been a heck of a week for me. I don't know what's been going on with me lately, but one day this week I slept all day and all night long. I didn't get up at all. So I just didn't have the energy. So, but
I've been having that kind of the same problem too, William. Because every time I sit down, I go to sleep. I'll be trying to watch something, concentrate on something, and it's aggravating, really. I start dozing off, and I haven't ever done that before. I don't know if it's the weather or what's going on. Kind of weird.
Well, hey, we're in the red rabbit hole, so weird is our subject matter. So you know what I'm going to put out there? I'm going to put out there that it's the government trying to put us to freaking sleep so they can program us.
Now, they want to do something to us. Maybe we better not sleep, you know. Maybe tell you what, we better get some sunglasses and put them on because we may see things a whole lot different.
Well, let me get over here to the chat, and I'm going to say hello to some people out there. And my goodness, we already got a big chat going. Okay, we have in the house. Wow, everybody's already talking up a storm. I can't even get to the beginning. There we go. We have Raven Creek Charms, Darcy, Nightmare Annette. We got, let's see, Lori Barnes. We've got North Alabama Cryptid, Mr. and Mrs. NAC. Hello from Bama. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great to have you. Ted, we got Ted in the house. Good to see you, Ted. Always good. And let's see. There's Darcy again. Lori again. North Alabama Cryptid again. Werewolf is in the house. How you doing, brother?
I thought I heard some howling back there somewhere.
Falafe Bay is in the house. I think that's how. I'm sorry if I mutilated your name there. I think that's how you say it. Falafe. Yeah. You got to let it flow off the tongue, I guess. Falafe. So, all right. Nightmare Met Productions. Good to see you. There's Karen. Good to see you, Karen. Executive producer extraordinaire. And let's see. Who else we got? I know we got more out there. There's Cynthia. Yep, there's Cynthia. There is Tombstone. Good to see you, Tombstone. Okay. Let's see here. Eric Fuentes, good to see you. Gemini Moon, good to see you. Nana Boss is in the house. Good to see you. All right, Midwest Night Watchers. Gerald, he's he at work? No, not yet. Okay. Just making
Grandmaster
sure
you
don't want to get the Grandmaster G late for work. So, okay, who else we got in the house? Wow, we got a lot of people. Okay. Anyways, excuse me. I'm definitely not in 100% tonight, but I'll do my best. I wanted to show everybody. Gerald actually took it upon himself to make some pretty good stickers, and I already announced it on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are really nice. Yeah.
He's got some really cool stickers, you know.
Yeah.
He's got Churro Sound.
I like that one. Yeah. I like that one. Yeah. I like wolves.
And then, of course, he's got this one. The Midwest.
Yeah, the owl. Night owl.
The owl. That's their logo. And then he did the new logo for the Nighthawk High Strangeless podcast channel.
Oh, yeah. That's neat. That's got everybody in that one.
Yeah. So, we're going to be giving some stickers away here this week. Tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And That's not all we're going to be giving away. We're going to be giving away, other stickers too. You know me. I like these little stickers of ghosts and aliens and all that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm gonna be throwing those into the mix again too, and the Bigfoot ones. So, and then on Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, on the 10 a.m. show, I'm giving away one of my survival bracelets. And one of my survival bracelets to a lucky winner, and I'm going to mail it out to them. And what it is it's the paracord bracelets, like you all know I wear. Okay, but it's got the compass on it. It's got the fire starter on it. So, and it's got a whistle on it. So, I mean, it's a pretty good all around little thing to have. So,
well, I may have to come on anonymously and try to win that myself.
but anyways,
I was going to tell you, William, a very strange incident I have happened to me this week, to our listeners out there. It was very bizarre. I think it's a glitch in the matrix or something. I don't know. It's some kind of cross timelines or whatever it might be. But there's it's kind of a simple thing. As I'm ex-law enforcement, and I was taught, I mean, it's ingrained and it's become part of my soul to observe everything, to see everything.
right.
And I know you were done that way in the military. You got to do that to survive, definitely.
Yep.
In certain circumstances, it's a great thing to have. But that's why they ingrain it in you so much. Observe everything.
Yep.
And it's very, very, very seldom that something gets by me. Okay, I'll put it that way. But anyway, there's a McDonald's nearby where I live, and it opened up probably, probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, probably somewhere in that, about 5 years ago. So anyway, I usually shop by there once in a while. I get a cup of coffee. I like McDonald's coffee. It's pretty good. And I'll stop by and get a senior coffee every now and then. So I did that the other day, and I'm in line. I go ahead and place my order, and I go around in line there. And I'm right there at the back door. And here's the interesting thing that struck me as strange. I always remember looking at that back door.
Mm-hmm.
The back door to McDonald's, and I can't see it because there's now a substation cabinet there. Those electrical cabinets. You know what I'm talking about? The big metal ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's big. It's probably every bit of 6 foot high, and probably maybe almost 5 foot wide. It's a big cabinet, an electrical cabinet. I guess we may have telephone lines in, whatever the case. And I'm looking, I said, hey, God, that wasn't there. And it was like maybe a couple of days since I'd been there. And I said, that was not there last time, because I remember looking at the door, just wondering if sometimes people will come out the back door and do something, or go to their car, the employees will. And I remember seeing that back door, William, as sure as I'm looking at you right now. I mean, there was nothing obstructing that back door. And this guy, and I said, well, did they put that in the last couple of days? And I didn't know it. And I'm looking at it, and it's old, William. I mean, it's not new. It's like it's been there for years. I mean, the paint is flaking on it. It's not new, definitely. And I'm going, where the heck did that come from? Because I know without doubt I did not see that there before. Now you tell me.
Yeah, that is unusual.
That's weird or what?
Yeah, that is very unusual. And like I said, that one time I had that happen here too. Not that specific thing, but it was like one day I went down the road here, and there's like a community college there, and one day it was named a certain name, and then the next day I come back down through there, the same exact time, it was a different name, a completely different name. So I was like, what is going on here, So,
and I tell you something about that. When that happens to you, it kind of throws your perspective off. I mean, it gives you a weird feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not right. you get that feeling inside. You know what I'm talking about. And you're saying you're confronting something, saying, "Oh, that's just not right. There's something wrong with that, situation." Just like you say, that changed, and then this in front of that door, that's really weird. And like I said, if it was new, I'd say, "Oh well, they put it in there, since I'm in." But no, it was not new looking though. I mean, the paint was flaked on it. It had scratches. I mean, it was not new, definitely. I mean, I know something when it's new, and I could tell to that. And that's the same thing what you're talking about with that college. You would have seen something about where they were changing the name on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean, you could have seen
they
that.
did it like that, like real fast overnight. So
Yeah,
that's what I don't
yeah.
understand. But it
think
has,
it's got. I think what's going on is something like we've talked about before, cross timelines or something.
right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
this is. I think a lot of this has happened since CERN came in operation.
yeah, CERN is a big problem. And what's worse is CERN has about, oh, what is it? About, I think at last count, CERN has about 12 to 13 other smaller hadron
CERNs.
colliders around the world. They
Yeah.
have one in South Africa. They have one in, I believe, Egypt. They have one in, I want to say, Poland. And then they have, I know they got a couple over here in the States, and it's all under CERN. It's all under the operation of CERN. They all work in conjunction. And,
And here's another thing, William, and we was going to talk to Carlito about this too. But another thing is the imagery uh, with it. The imagery that surrounds it. Let me say something to everybody listening tonight, and as a person who has studied the occult for many, 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 many years, there is a secret language, people, in symbols. Okay, don't ever forget that. That's why they use these symbols so much, and they incorporate them into so many things, just like trademark symbols. There's a secret language to that, and it's very important that you watch for that, take note of it in the patterns that it leaves, because they're doing it for a reason. And look at the many strange symbols associated just with CERN. That goddess of death statue and all this other stuff. It's very occultic if you look at it very closely. You know what I'm saying?
okay, Carlito's going to be a little late, but he'll be coming on.
Okay.
So, everybody just hang in there. I don't like to start a conversation, and get somebody involved halfway through it. But so Dennis and I are probably going to bore you to death with our stories. But I do believe CERN has an ultimate goal, and that is to open up a portal to hell. I really do. If they haven't done it already. I mean,
I believe it's cracked open, William. Honest to gosh, I believe they've cracked that door open. Maybe not fully open, but I believe they've cracked it some. I think that's what you see happening around us today.
You talk about all the weird things happening. I don't know if you guys saw today on Facebook, a very, very dear friend of mine, Brian Bowden. He posted a video from the Nevada desert area. He was driving, I guess, towards Las Vegas, and he captured a really good video of an object. I don't even know what to call it. It was
that was weird looking thing.
Yeah, at first I thought maybe it's
I thought it was a balloon. The way it looked at first, some kind of balloon with a light on it or something.
I thought it might have been an experimental plane, but it wasn't.
Yeah, something.
But it was really weird
Oh,
looking.
it looked like something out of Star Wars or something. I mean,
yeah,
weird in shape, good.
Definitely. So I don't know if we can pin something like that on CERN or not, but they CERN has done so much, and they can say they're doing it to benefit mankind, just like That is weird.
What's that?
There was a humming noise, and then all of a sudden it went real quiet.
Humming, huh?
Yeah.
That's another one of the signs. You hear a lot of people talking about the humming and the vibration around these things. It makes you wonder. William, all over the world, and we need to do a show on this sometime. There's that hum that people talk about. They see that. I had a friend in Ireland that talked about hearing it in Ireland, and I've also experienced it myself. A hum and a vibration underground where there shouldn't be one there. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, something's going on underground. I don't know
Yeah.
what.
Yeah. Something's definitely going on.
Anyway,
And
I
then,
was going to tell about. I don't know if you saw it, but it was on there too about this young guy supposedly claimed that he opened a portal in his room, and he took video of it, and it's like a hole in space and time, and you can see a landscape beyond this, and he's in his room, and he claims he did this. He didn't say how he did it, but he claims he opened this portal somehow, and you can see, and it looks like the Arizona desert, like you're looking through this
hmm,
hole into the Arizona desert. And this guy supposedly mysteriously disappeared after he did this. So I'm
hmm.
going to try to track some more on that down and see what I can find out about that. But it's a very interesting case.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. Um, I wonder, if a lot of these places are working in conjunction with CERN, like DARPA and Area 51.
Dulcie,
HARP
Dulcie,
agency,
yeah.
yeah, Dulce, New Mexico. Um, you know, because if they're opening up portals, you would think that they wouldn't open them up in the middle of nowhere without some type of protection. So it's my theory that when CERN opens up a portal, they're opening up these portals on U.S. military bases around the world. That's
And
just a theory.
possibly near national forests or national parks too.
Yeah. Well, it's just a theory around military bases because, you have all these UFO sightings around military bases. You have all these cryptid sightings around military bases. All this weird stuff happening, And
Well, if you
then,
were going to do something like that, William, you definitely would do it in a secured area, or like I said, the national parks would be an area that's kind of can be made off limits, or that's out in away from the public. It makes sense what you're saying. Makes perfect sense. You would want to be in a secure area when you did it. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty hectic with the whole CERN thing and doing the portals and everything. But other than a opening up a dimension or a portal to hell, what other stuff do you think that they could be doing? Do you think that they could be messing with the timelines to say maybe erase a certain bloodline or a certain part of history to change it, or because we see
I
all
think
these
some of it, William, could be accidental.
yeah,
If they're screwing around with portals, they could be accidentally messing up the timeline a little bit. It may not be that may not be their number one concern. Like you say, their number one concern is opening these portals or opening these doorways. Uh, but that may be an offshoot of it. Whenever just like the ripple effect you've talked about, if you drop a pebble in the pond, it's gonna affect the whole pond eventually. You
right,
know,
yeah,
and that may be what's going on with CERN. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yes, Nana, the nanoboss. Yes, you can use magic to open portals. Um,
Definitely.
there's different ways of doing it. The dark way of doing it is what I know. And I do know a more of an internal light way of doing it too. Now that I've taught myself how to do. Um, but
Well, I've
you
always
can't,
said that there's three kind of portals. There's a natural occurring, and then there's the manipulated kind of what you're talking about, and then there's
right,
the engineered way to do
right.
it.
Right. And all it really is, I mean, all you really need to do is to have a mind that you can focus on a certain point. And just like this design behind me, you picture the you have to visualize, and you literally have to be able to manifest. Okay, you literally do.
Imagine it to the
Yeah, you
point
have to
where it's
imagine
real.
it opening, and then you, in order to go forward into a portal, you need to go clockwise. Okay, and then in order to go backwards in a portal, you need to go counterclockwise. Okay, just like the drawings on the walls all over Native American land, where you see the drawings where it starts out and it's a spiral. Okay,
Mhm.
well that spiral is the way that you are told how to do a portal. Okay,
The wheel
those
of time.
yeah, yeah, those spirals like that are symbolisms of portals and opened up
Mhm.
portals. So wherever you
Here's
see that,
another thing, William. You remember back in, I know you remember back in the 60s and 70s, the psychedelic stuff, you know. And there was one where they would do the spiral with some kind of a light. I forget what it was. You remember that? They could do the spiral in the room, and it would actually, they say, distort your reality. It was very close to actually opening portals that way. And you know, to this day, there are warnings on movies about some people have a problem with these lights and these flashing lights and all this stuff. It does something to their perception,
mm-hmm,
you know.
right?
So, and it can make you have, if you're an epileptic, you can have epileptic seizures because of these.
Yeah,
So, you know, what you're saying is, I think the ancient people knew about that.
yeah,
The older people, they knew about that. That's where that wheel comes in to play. And you see it all over the world, not just here
yeah,
in North America. You see it in
exactly.
almost every culture.
Yep, exactly, exactly. Some people call them portals, some people call them gateways, um, doorways. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can still open it up if you are a type of person that can stay focused and visualize it happening, and use all your spiritual power to focus it on one point and imagine the portal opening, and it'll happen. It may take some practice, a lot of practice, but the
Well, you know, I've often said about the magic thing, William. It's not the ritual. It's not the words. It's actually what it's just focusing your mind by doing that. That's what it's all about. It's that mind focus, and the ritual is what gets you in that frame of mind. You know, that's what gets you in that frame and directs your thoughts and your consciousness into what it is you're doing. So it's really not the rituals. The rituals help you to focus your consciousness. That's what's going on. You know, I agree with you 100%. Yeah,
man,
and you know, shamans do that, and the people in Nepal, the monks and all that in the those areas in Nepal are able to do these things with their minds. They've done some incredible mind control stuff. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. The Tibetan monks, they are really, really, they're known for their abilities to manifest. And to tell you the truth, that's where I tweaked my personal um, journey, per se, into learning how to do that. So my
Well, you're a shaman. You're trained in
yes,
that.
yes,
You
but
know, you know a lot about it.
when I do ceremony, it's different. It's almost like it's opening up a spiritual portal. Okay, to the Creator, and to all the other ancestors that have gone before me. Whereas where I do it personally to open it up, it's like to go to another place, to be in another existence, at the same time. So
Well,
it's
I have
it's
said
it's
all of this really is spiritual, William, although science doesn't look at it that way. The engineering aspect of it doesn't look at it that way. But I
Right.
think a lot of it's connected to the spiritual unseen side of our universe, definitely.
Right. I've been trying to figure out how to manifest the Publishers Clearinghouse too, but that hasn't come about yet. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, they say that you can really manifest anything. Okay, and it's been my journey through my life that you really can. You can, if you think it positive enough. If you think it positive enough and you repeat
I'm
it,
trying to
you
I'm
repeat
trying to
it.
contact Elon Musk, but I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I have to get on his good side, I need some money.
Yeah. But they say if you do that enough times that you can manifest anything. And you hear about all these life coaches and stuff out there. No offense to anybody that's a life coach out there. But they always talk about, the powers within you. You just got to stay focused and, have that ability to manifest it and just, believe that it's going to happen. And they're right. They're absolutely
And
right.
a lot of that is biblical, William. What faith is what is about. Faith that moves mountains.
Yeah.
You're talking about some extreme power here, and people, a lot of, and it's really strange that mainline science ignores this aspect completely. That it does not exist. That which is, they think a lot of things don't exist that they're not right about. But anyway, I think you're right. There's power in this. There is a power to it that can do things
Right.
without a doubt.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's one thing to
And let me say this: they were addressing our audience out there. There are naturally occurring portals or doorways, whatever you want to call it. There may be areas where these things naturally occur. I have run into that situation. I have felt that hum we were talking about earlier, that vibration in the air, that electrical feeling, that weird out of place feeling you get from this. It's almost like it throws your whole equilibrium off
right.
when you run into these things. But this is naturally occurring. Nobody did anything, I think, to cause this. It's usually natural.
Right. Right. Just to let everybody know out there too, I saw there was Lori had a comment about me being on somebody's show this past week. That was Texas Front Porch. And coming up June 8th, I'll be on Blondes and Booze. And then June 9th, I'll be on another podcast that's going to be airing in Japan and UK and all that. So I'll let everybody know, when that announcement comes about.
You won't watch that, people, because that last show was really good and I enjoyed it. And you don't want to miss this part 2 here.
So it's an interesting subject that we get into. So I just there's a lot of things that are going on right now with me that I'm just kind of I'm just praying for that next morning basically. So we're gonna leave it at that. I don't want to schedule too many shows and stuff. So but I'll schedule a couple of them a month and see what happens. So
well, life is a gamble anyway, William. Whichever way you look at it, you never know about tomorrow, but especially when you have health problems and concerns.
yeah,
That throws some cold water on it too. Sometimes, that's the way it goes. I know there's a lot of things I'd love to go back out and into the field and do, which I'm not able to anymore. It's frustrating when you
yeah,
can't count on stuff like that anymore. Sad
yeah.
thing.
I'm gonna try and get back out there this as soon as the weather breaks a little bit more here, because I can't get caught out there with with really bad weather. So that would probably end up killing me. because I have a hard enough time breathing, so. But
Take your walking stick just in case you run into a dog man or anything.
Oh, I'll be having my camcorders on. I've got my police body camera.
Walking stick.
Yeah, I've got my police body cameras that I wear. I got one on the front.
Oh yeah, I got one of those. Yeah, those are handy to have. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And
that's what I told somebody that the last time I wore an investigation. I said I got the body cam in case they just find the body. At least there'll be a record.
Yeah.
Of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say. If I ever, disappear, and at least they'll find the camera and they'll have a way of finding out what happened.
It'd be like the Blair Witch thing all over again, found footage.
Yeah. Yep. So I want to send.
I hope it never does that. It's usually regularly on my security cams. I tell you, we do see some. I have 16 security cameras around my property right now, and I see some really freaky things on them sometimes. A lot of times there's spider webs and bugs, but you can see some kind of things. Sometimes it's really, you have to kind of struggle to explain. You never know what you're gonna see.
All right, let's see here. I'm just going to go through the. Yeah, that's true, Werewolf. That's true.
Yep.
Possibly could have been a shift. Very well.
I think though it's ongoing. I think it's an ongoing thing, constantly shifting. It's not just it's over time. It started several years ago, definitely, but I think it's starting on a regular basis to shift. Like I said, with that incident at McDonald's, I've noticed a lot of little things, and and since that happened, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to really, really buckle down and see how much more I can see. Hopefully nothing's getting by me.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to bring Carlito on. I don't know if I want to bring him on right away. His goatee's better than mine. It's not gray and white. But all right, I'll bring him on.
He's a young whippersnapper there, William. A young whippersnapper friend, Carlito.
No, hey
guys.
Going,
brother?
Going all right. Thank you. No, actually, that's the second time you've said that, Dennis. That I'm a young snapper, something like that. I'm actually 47, man. I'm up there, but thing is that I look younger than my age. That's the only thing, and I take advantage of that, and I paint my goatee, my beard, my mustache, and even my white hair that comes out. Yeah, I do. I paint it, honestly.
I think some of these older guys, they're like 90 years old and they got the dyed beards.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can see a little bit of white. Yeah. Sometimes you can see a little bit of white around my goatee because that's growing out or whatever. Yeah. How you guys doing tonight, man?
That's what I told somebody one time. I earned every one of these gray hairs. I'm not gonna be ashamed of them. Okay.
Yeah. No. I guess when I get to like maybe, I'm gonna say maybe around 55, then I'll just let it all grow white, whatever.
That's what I said. When I go bald, I'm gonna just shave my whole head and let it grow.
Yeah, just not ready for it yet, man. I don't know. I guess it's midlife crisis thing or whatever.
It worked for you, Joel Brenner. Maybe it'll work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, man, how you guys doing tonight, man? I remember William invited me tonight to talk about NWO and CERN, and I just wanted to say, man, dude, how things have changed. William, I was trying to look up, just to get a little how you say, a little warm up or whatever, little re-look, whatever. And man, I looked it up on Google. I looked it up on YouTube. Nowhere to be found, man.
Oh,
You
I
look
know.
up, yeah, you look up the NWO. They bring up that wrestling thing, that NWO wrestling.
Yep. With
Oh my
Hulk Hogan. Yep.
God, man, they took them all down. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Did
Oh,
they?
and now William also, they have a thing where like certain topics, right? Like say flat Earth or whatever. It brings up a little Wikipedia note on there saying that flat Earth is not real. It's been proven by scientists. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell? Like saying
Hasn't
it's
been proven
pretty
by
much saying it's BS. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a bunch of stuff. I was just watching one with Eddie Bravo just yesterday, man, and it was great. It was great. I sent it to you, I think. William, did you get a chance
Yeah,
to
I
look at it?
watched it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it. It was really good. Yeah.
yeah, and he talks about that too, about the little thing that comes up on there when you talk
Yep.
about certain,
Ah.
yeah, anything
Yep.
with government, anything with flat Earth, anything with UFOs,
Yeah.
I guess too. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's crazy. It's going to be a little crazy.
Yeah, I was just at the beginning of the podcast tonight. I had to announce that we're going. I'm actually doing a different podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's solely going to be on Twitter, Twitch, and
Twitch.
Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
it's going to be called Disclosure, the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cover everything that YouTube won't let me cover,
Right, exactly. Yeah, I heard Twitch is really good with that. It doesn't have so many restrictions like YouTube.
Right.
A lot of people have been saying that Twitch, and I know you have an account on Twitch because you go live on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So yeah,
Yep.
that's really cool. I'm actually thinking of looking into that, man. Because I mean, if we're gonna get banned for talking about or shut down or whatever, canceled for talking about certain topics like say cryptids or flat Earth or I don't know whatever.
Hey, just join my
anything with
channel,
government.
man. Join
Yeah.
my channel, and you'll be able to have your own little setup here with all these channels. So,
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. It's so to me that what it looks like your channel is like you got different people on there already, right? With their own shows, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
Spaced Out Radio, where they have different shows with different people. It's just the same channels, just different shows, right?
right, exactly.
Right. Okay. I got you. Okay. Yeah, man. I'm actually thinking into going into that, man. Actually, yeah, because you have more. I don't know. I guess it's your channel since you're like you got the premium one where you can change like the whole background. You can change the different cameras. Different stuff like that. So yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing that pretty soon, bro. With you.
Come on over to the family.
Yeah. And I'd like to have like different, shows, not just cryptids, maybe one for, I don't know, for strictly paranormal, with its name, one for, like conspiracy theories with its name, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yep. Now,
Yeah, but
have you guys noticed a difference in the size of the moon and the sun lately? It seems like they're smaller to me lately than normally.
No, I haven't looked into that. No, I haven't.
I looked at the sun the other day, through a mirror, and it looked like it was literally just tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was hard to describe, But then I came across an article online about China making an artificial sun.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. They actually launched it and it stood up in the air for I don't know how long, but yeah, they did that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of makes me think that they're thinking of maybe a super volcano going off and covering the actual sun up for a while.
But there was back in history, there was a day I was reading about with Troy Taylor. I don't know if you've ever heard of Troy Taylor. He's a very famous paranormal writer. He's written a lot of books on different subjects. But he talked about that day of darkness. I think it was back in 1780 when there was no sun that day. There was just, they were running about the streets with torches. You ever heard about that, Carlito?
Oh,
You ever heard
no,
about that?
I haven't. I
It's
haven't
called the
heard
Dead
about that.
Darkness. It's very well documented, but it happened mostly in New England, up in there, Connecticut, Maine, and places up in there. And actually, they scared them so bad they thought it was the end of the world, And they've been checking on that ever since. And the only thing they could find out, there was no volcano eruptions that year. There was no solar eclipse. The only thing they think it possibly happened, there were some forest fires that day further up in Canada, and they think that some of that smoke possibly is what blotted the sun out. But they said it was so dark they had to light candles and
Wow.
lanterns, and at 12 noon. Think about that. And it said the cows went back to the barn. They thought it was night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so it's very interesting. And there was I don't know, you may have heard about this. There was one time when there was the year without summer. I think that was in 1830 something, I think, or 1820 somewhere. And that happened because of a volcano that exploded in the Caribbean and put so much ash up, that it blotted the sun out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no summer that year. And they said thousands started there. People could not get crops in. It was like there was frost on the fields in August.
Right.
So you're talking about catalytic type stuff here. When something happens like that, interfere and throw the weather off like that, what amazes me, Carlito, is that our world hangs always by a thread. Our civilization hangs by a very
Right.
thin thread, unfortunately.
Right.
Anything could snap that thread, we're in big trouble, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I wanted to put a little bit of input on the China sun that you mentioned just a minute ago. Yes, it was real, and it did happen and all that. But I'm wondering, could that be the two suns that people are seeing lately? Because there's been many accounts of people seeing two suns up in the sky. I mean, could that be it, or is it just a different phenomena?
Yeah. Well, too, that thing makes me think about these rumors we hear about the Chinese
Mm-hmm.
making their own sun. That's kind of scary when you think about it. That the sun. Here's what they would like. They would like to have a sun shining 24/7, and they could produce much more crops and all this stuff. That's what that would be all about. And of course, it would think about the military ramifications of that. You can move an army much better in daylight than you can at night, anytime.
Absolutely.
So when you start screwing around with stuff like that, and that's what we were talking about earlier about CERN,
Yeah.
and all this, what's going on with that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling about in the audience, there's some very strange symbolistic stuff connected to CERN, that goddess of death and that 666 thing.
The 666, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And since I've studied a lot of the occult over the years, there is a secret language in symbolism, and we need to really, really pay attention to what they're doing, because there are patterns to it and all that. And I think that may be laying the foundation for a new world order, definitely.
Right. And did you know also that NASA they're saying that the word Nasha with an H in Hebrew means deceiving, or to deceive, in other words, lie, right? And so they're connecting that to NASA because all the lies from NASA.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're
very good at I think misleading us
misleading
in many ways with what they're doing. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what really bugs me, Carlito. Science is sort of like a justice unto its own self. Science says it's going to be this way or it's going to be the highway. It's going to be our way or nothing at all.
Right,
and they see things and perceive things a whole lot different than the normal man and woman does in this world. And they think they are smarter and better than we are. Mm-hmm. That's just their attitude, Well, we're smarter. We know better. We know which way you should be going, and we need to direct you in that way. I don't really like. That's what bugs me about science. Science has a bad attitude when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's why they don't want us talking about this type of things, because if we're influential, like we are in a small scale, but we are still influential. A lot of people are going to start, watching our videos and, looking at our podcasts or whatever. And they're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, they're right. What they're talking about. You know what I mean? It might be maybe a little tabooish to talk about it because, yeah, we know that, the government shuts it down or even looks for a way to, reprimand you in some kind of way. Maybe, shutting your channel down, even up to, suiciding someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what?
Speaking of NASA, guys, if you look at NASA's logo, it actually spells out the word Satan.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I've seen
And
that.
that V going down like that on the NASA sign, that's actually supposed to represent the tongue of a serpent, which is basically the devil, satanic. So that
Like I said, there's a secret language in symbolism. We need to pay close attention to a lot of this stuff because they're doing their little community. They think they're so smart that they can hide this in plain sight.
Yeah.
But you got to watch them because they're definitely up to no good on some of this stuff.
Right.
But that's what really bugs me about them, and I think it does you too, Carlito, and I know it does all of us. That they think they're so much smarter and better than we are, that they know everything more than we do. And that's really bugs me. I said that's one thing you never do to me, is insult my intelligence.
Right.
That's what they're doing to us. They're insulting our intelligence,
Absolutely, yes. And that's why they're trying to block everywhere now where people can't wake, because they seen a lot of people woke up already, a lot of people woke up when 9/11, a lot of people woke up when 2012. A lot of people, woke up in different, times, but a lot of people have woken up already, and they don't like that. They want to dumb you down, so they block everywhere that you can, do your research and find the truth, which is what we're all ultimately looking for, right? The truth. And that's what's coming out about NASA. Nobody believes NASA anymore. And now with the CERN thing, I know y'all mentioned the Large Hadron Collider. They're basically playing God. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. It's a God game. That's what I call it.
And they somehow opened like portals doing that. You know what I mean?
Cloning,
multiple times, not just once. Yeah.
And robotics and cloning and all that.
Right.
Carlito, they're trying to obtain immortality. I mean, you can have all the money and the power in the world and prestige and all that glory, but it's not going to do you any good if you have to die and leave it all. So they want immortality. That's what it's all about.
Right.
I was reading some of the things here about Luke Brood.
Where'd William go? Is he still here?
They're getting a little noise in your background. You have a fan or anything on?
No, I don't have a fan, but I try to. I don't have it on right now. Yeah.
Pick up some static, but I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. Anyway, it's not that bad, but somebody mentioned it. Anyway, what I was going to say is a lot of this stuff, this new world order they want to bring in, this great reset or whatever name you want to call it. I think this plan's been in action for a long time, and they're playing God. They want to be the gods of this earth.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And I want to tell you this. What if, listen to this a moment, and I talked about this on my show, Demonology Today. If somebody comes up to you tomorrow, Carlito, and says, I can give you power. I can give you the power to influence people's minds. I can give you power to get all the money you want. Everything that you want, I can put it in your hands. Who's going to turn that down? Not many people's going to turn that down.
Well, I have.
People are not going to turn that down.
I have. I haven't said this before, Dennis, not publicly anyway, just with a couple of my friends, but I have been contacted by people from Illuminati asking me if I'm ready to become rich and famous and all this, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I don't know if it's real or not, but either way, I turn them down. I have been maybe 2 or 3 times already. And going back to the noise thing, no, I don't have a fan right now on. I turned it off because I know it makes a lot of noise. And the thing is, my microphone, every once in a while, like every 3 minutes or so, it does a little buzz. It goes zzz, zzz, just a little buzz, but it's not breaking up or anything like that. Now, I do hear on your microphone, Dennis, I do hear like you're kind of breaking up and crackling on yours. On yours,
I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe.
Hey, Willie's back. There he is.
Hey,
I think I need a little cover over that thing or something.
Dennis will blame the crackling of his voice on the microphone when actually it's old age.
No, and you know what, too? The thing is, William, I don't know if you've noticed this before, William, but I have, like, on my shows or whatever, that when you have more than 2 or 3 people, that happens. It's always one person's got a bad audio. I don't know why. You seen it last time, William, when Dennis left. Me and you stayed for a little bit, and it was perfect audio. You know, it's just having the third person on. That's what it is. I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm just saying, you know, it's having multiple people on there, more than 2, actually. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
But I try to mute my microphone anyway, just for that buzzing sound, so it won't sound while you guys are talking. So, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. World Economic Forum. There we go. Right there. Werewolf's got that one down.
All right. Is an evil managed a lot of these, yeah. What I was going to say is that a lot of this God game I talked about, you know, is that this robotics and AI stuff that's coming in. If you can, if somebody who wants the real power can clone themselves, you could almost live indefinitely. You could, wear one part out, you get another part. You don't have to go stealing anymore. Just clone yourself. That would be the ideal way. And of course, if it came back down the line to the point where they could actually download your consciousness into a robot, then you would become that robot. You would be a sentient being. It would be you, Carlito, but you wouldn't be biological anymore.
Right. So I heard of that.
The question remains: would you still have a soul?
No soul. Just maybe a faint memory and in the way of thinking. You're basically your
that's the
essence.
Game they're playing,
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, getting back to the whole CERN thing, I mean, Carlito, what do you think they're trying to do? I mean, Dennis and I believe that it might be a portal to hell, messing with everything that way, and that's why a lot of this paranormal activity is heightened up. And I'm under the theory that maybe CERN is opening up these portals on military installations because of the security factor. And that's why we have a lot of weird sightings around military
bases. Yeah, absolutely. Just the other day, I seen I forgot to send it to you, William. I seen what was it like? It was like a diamond-shaped UFO. I don't know if you've seen it around the internet yet.
Oh, yeah.
Just the other day, just like 3 or 4 days ago, something like that. I think, and it was in the Area 51 area, and it was just sitting there for a long time. Different people, different cameras were filming it, but see, that's the thing, we don't know, being the government in a military base, which is Area 51. We don't know if it's a real UFO, if it's a hologram, or it's a man-made spaceship by the government. So it's really hard to tell.
And what a better way to do a cover up and to hide something secret wise by doing it on a military base, because you can have multiple excuses as to what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just going to say, "Oh, it's just the government, messing with something."
The insidious part of it all is that they've got us all so fixed now that we don't know what our reality is anymore. Is it a drone? Is it a hologram? Is it the real thing or what? That's the way they want it, though. See, that's the way they really want it.
Exactly. I remember when they did that drone test. The military did a drone test out in California, and they had literally hundreds of these little drones, and they were multicolored, and they were doing like these different, maneuvers and stuff, multicolored all together in unison. And they had literally thousands of 911 calls about people seeing a big UFO, thinking that those drones were a UFO. So,
and the other day they had an experiment the military did where they could take down what they call them blanket drones. That's where you can launch 300 or 400 drones at a target, and now they've got something that can take them all down in one time if necessary. Which probably that technology will end up in Ukraine eventually. But they're always experimenting with stuff like that. And, like we've talked about in past programs, they're very good at weaponization.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always working on weapons, That's what it's all about.
That's where their gravy is. That's where they get their butter for their bread.
Hey,
you got to remember,
William.
When it comes to the military, a soldier has to have weapons. It's all about war with soldiers, and they're not happy if it's peace. If there's any peace in the world, they're not happy. They're not utilized. They're not reaching their full potential unless there's an adversary they can face. And they're always thinking about that. See, that's the mindset of the military. That's the way they operate.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, William, I just sent you, I don't know if I had sent them already, but I sent them again just in case, 2 videos on NWO. This is via TikTok. If you can play those, I don't know if you can. And hopefully we can get audio.
You should be able to upload them right from where you are, too. Let me see here. You should be able to upload those right from where you're at.
But the thing is, the audio, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it and people are going to be able to listen to the audio. That's the thing. I mean, I can share the screen, but...
Let me see here.
Can you try it? Because it says something about 2025. That's what I want the people to see.
You sent them in...
Messenger? Yeah, it's something from it's an old video. Yes, it's like an old video from like the 80s or 90s, something like that. And the guy's talking about the Illuminati that are planning to ultimately, bring New World Order by the year 2025. That's why I thought it was very interesting, and thought I'd share it with you. But yeah, speaking of that, you guys remember Ronald Reagan, right? When he said it would take like a alien invasion to bring us all together. You remember that, right, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay, and what he was talking about then, we didn't really, we didn't know. We thought like, of course, if aliens come down, we're gonna all unite, and forget our differences, all across the world, and come together to try to fight any, foreign threat, right? But really, what he was talking about was, and they've all talked about it, all the presidents, even George Bush, Senior, he said that, that ultimately they want to establish a new world order, which is NWO.
A new world order.
Right?
Yeah,
yes. And this is in this. Their plan is to do it right after a fake alien invasion, because it's going to cause mass chaos and mass fear all around the world. And they're going to try to control everybody with NWO right after that, right after the fake alien invasion. And a lot of people are talking about a fake alien invasion coming soon, maybe this year, maybe next year, 2024, or maybe the year after, 2025. But it's definitely within the the 3-year range right now. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up a little bit because that's that's in their plans.
It's very strange that the language like that. That struck me strange. I remember very well when Bush said that. The New World Order. He started talking about that because it's kind of funny because his family is supposed to be involved in, like with the Rothschilds and the Illuminati and all this stuff. That struck me strange. I think Ronald Reagan. Now, when you go back to Reagan was a big fan of Star Wars. I think,
Yeah.
because he named one of his programs Star Wars.
Yeah.
But he had a point. I think it was very good. He said we would all pull together if we had a common threat, like an invasion. And he talked about the evil empire, which was Russia, China, and all that. Which, he was a far-sighted man. He saw a lot coming down the line. And this goes all the way back to John F. Kennedy, who warned people. I think it was said that the day before he was assassinated, he was going to come out and tell something that he knew.
Yeah,
he got
that was known.
I think.
And that's why he got shot.
I think presidents know something. A lot of them do, but they're not allowed to tell. There's even a hold over the president. You know what I'm saying? These whoever these guys are, the shadow government, they've got everybody under their control. Even the president. Yeah.
And it's all interconnected. You know what I mean? The Illuminati, NWO, CERN, NASA. It's all interconnected. It's like these are like the people of the world. Yeah. The South. What is it called? The Antarctic Treaty. That's another one. You know what I mean? It's all the leaders in the world that are in together, where no one can pass the ice wall or the Antarctic wall, whatever they want to call it. But yeah, no one can pass that.
That's the thing, Carlito. If we know the
interconnected.
truth, if we know the truth, and they think we know the truth, that's why they want to shut us up, because they can't rule that way. You understand? They got to have the handhold on the truth to keep it from us. No matter what, because if we found out the real truth, we would march on Washington tomorrow. Probably.
Yes.
They think they're afraid of that happening anyway. Whether that would really take place or not, I'm not going to say, but they're afraid of that happening.
Yes.
And when you have the power, the number one thing, power is like a drug. And somebody that's addicted on drugs, that's all you constantly think about. Where am I going to get my next batch from? Where am I going to get my next hit from? That's all they're thinking about. And that's the way it is with these guys in power. How am I going to keep this power? What am I going to do next to keep this, to make sure I don't lose? That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And that's why power, that's why you've heard that old saying, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. That's so true. They're corrupted by this thing. They're addicted to it, and this darkness has invaded their very souls. And like I said, and you and I both have said this before, there is a darkness in this world that they're in bed with here. Okay, they have sold us out. That's not Nighthawk and I have talked about. We've been approached by the government wanting to know about demons. Why? Why are they asking demonologists all these things? Because they're in bed with them. They're in league with them. They've made some kind of contract, some kind of agreement. And I think they're now beginning to discover they're on the bad side of that agreement. They're on the short end of the stick, so to speak. And I think they know they're in trouble, but they don't know how to get out of it.
Right. Absolutely. Is William still here? I see his camera is off, but he might still be here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to with this CERN and NWO. All of this is connected. That's why William and myself, chose that topic tonight, because it's all connected. Like I said, that's their narrative, controlling the people, and and fear sells. So if you have a fake alien invasion, it's gonna cause mass fear all around the world, right? So that's the way they think that they can control us. But see, that's the thing. A lot of people are waking up now, so they're not believing that. Even if it's a fake alien invasion, they're not going to believe it right off the bat. We're not that ignorant anymore, like maybe 100 years ago. You know what I mean? We're a lot of people are waking up day by day. I mean, they're just waking up. I see, so many things on TikTok and YouTube. I'm like, man, I'm glad to see so many people are waking up, and I give them
Yeah.
that comment, and they're like, thank you, man. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm liking this because there's a lot of people
Well,
that
it's
already
like this,
know.
Carlito.
Yeah,
The little truth fires, I call them truth fires, that start up here and there. They're really good at putting them out. They stamp them out real quick because that's how they maintain their power. That's how they maintain their control. They can't let that truth get away from them, and that's why they hate shows like this. And people like us getting together and having these conversations, they don't like that. They'll interfere with it, definitely. They won't like it. But we pay a price for it eventually. But that's okay. I mean, I'm going to always, I think you're going to agree with this too, stand up for the truth. That's what the whole thing's about.
absolutely. And I think that's our calling, Dennis. For us to do this, to let people know what's going on. Try to get them to learn the truth. That we've been lied to our whole lives. With NASA, they can't get a clear picture of the world when they spend a bit. I don't know. I think it's like $1 billion or $2 billion, something like that, a year. On their their studies and whatever have you that they do in NASA. They spend so much money, and they don't have a clear answer for us. They don't have a real life picture of the Earth. It's all CGI. You know what I mean? It's like, so where's all that money going? They've just been lying to us for all our lives. I think we've all, we're indoctrinated, since we were little, going to school, and we all believed it, right? But space and all that. Ever since we were kids.
Very much like that movie, The Matrix.
Yeah,
they want
there you
to
go.
form their own reality and get us to believe it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another good example is that movie with Jim Carrey. What's that movie called? Where he's like in his own little world, and they're all filming him and watching him, and he can't go past.
Truman Show.
Yeah, the Truman Show. There you go. That one. That's an excellent. They're putting it right in our faces, man. And a lot of people think it's just entertainment. No, they're trying to tell us something.
What do you guys think of this?
You remember the story of the Tower of Babel? That reminds me of that. Everybody was working together. They said, we're going to build this tower that's going to go up to heaven, and nobody can stop us. We're going to do what we want to do, kind of a thing. And CERN is sort of like the new Tower of Babel. They're saying, hey, we're gonna fool around with the fabric of the universe, and nobody's going to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the egotistical aspect of mankind.
Yes, and honestly, I think they're starting to get worried, Dennis, that a lot of people are waking up, because if we all wake up and we all get together, we're going to overpower them, and they know that.
Oh yeah,
and that scares them.
They're scared of that.
Yeah,
scares them. I think that they're nightmares every night in bed. That we're going to wake up and discover the truth and turn on them.
Yeah. What were you saying, William?
Yeah.
You were trying to show something?
Oh, I was going to show you guys that list of all the alleged viruses that so-called people that give us the jab allegedly created. So there's a whole list of them, and it lists quite a few of them, all the way down to the last one that we got. Everybody got the jab.
That's another one. That's another one that that I'd like to bring up. Me being like a certain type of conspiracy theorist, I didn't don't believe the government anymore. I didn't take that shot, man. I did not take it. I don't trust them. I'm sorry.
Neither did
and
I.
We're gonna die anyway. So what does it make a difference if we die 10 years before or 10 years after with that shot? We're gonna die anyway. I'd rather die naturally than have something stuck in my body that wasn't even tested on animals or anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if you look at this list is really something. It goes all the way from the AIDS virus all the way to the C19 plan, whatever.
Yeah, and what is the vaccine also, Willie? It's the threat itself that they're injecting you, so your body can get used to it and then repel it later, right? That's what our shots are for, right? As kids, they put our shots, flu
Well,
shots,
yeah.
all those.
There's
They're injecting flu into you, so your
yeah.
body can get used to it and repel it.
There's
So
three ways to make a vaccination.
right,
And I'm sure Dennis can back me up on this. There's three bases that they use for a vaccination. The first one is animal based, the second one is plant based, and the third one is egg based.
Yep.
And currently, right now, they're working on a vaccination for the bird flu in the UK. So,
And I just heard a report today that there's another case right here in the state I'm in of mad cow disease.
right, and I'd like to add to that too. It's been rumored that there's going to be a worse and bigger virus in about a year or so.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah,
than COVID-19. Yeah. So, hey, again, that's another scare tactic. See what I'm saying? So that they just keep coming and coming and coming every other year with more scare tactics.
That's what the Democrats said the first time the COVID-19 showed up. Oh, this is what we've been waiting for. This was an opportunity for them, and they just like I've talked about the demonic. They're opportunists. They never fail to take an opportunity. And that's what these guys are the same way. They say, "Hey, this is something we can bank on here. This is something we can take to the bank. We can run with it." And they saw how they could control. Think about this: what we've just lived through here, people. We just lived through one of the worst pandemics the world's ever known. So supposedly, okay. Look how much control they exerted over us. We were all wearing masks. We were doing this, we were doing that. Lines in the grocery store to walk down. And all this stuff, that had to really delight the deepest part of their hearts. Because they, hey, we got absolute control now, and we've got to get that back. We're going out of that, but they're going to find another way to get that back. Don't think they won't.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think that one was just like they just wanted like a test. They just wanted to see what the reaction of the public would be, and many obeyed, many didn't. I was one of them. I wouldn't wear a mask anywhere unless I really had to, unless there was a sign in the door saying you had to wear a mask before going into that building. Then I would.
I was reading this the other day. I love fruit. Okay. Let me warn you guys about this. I think you're talking about the vax in the milk in China. Okay. Do you know they're putting a layer of chemical on all fruit now? Okay. And they say it's to preserve the fruit, to keep pests and all this and bacteria off of it. But guess what? You can take this thing home, put the fruit. I wash all my fruit, it's that way. I wash my fruit. You can wash your apple off, okay? Wash it real good, polish it. You've heard that as polishing your apple. Do that, and guess what? That stuff is still there. It doesn't come off.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
You're right. You're right.
And something else I'd like to add to that. The speaking of fruits and vegetables, that that's why they're doing a lot of organic vegetables now, because the organic don't contain the seeds, which that way we won't plant our own vegetables and fruits. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to control everything. Again, control is the big word here. So if you don't have seeds to do anything, what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to grow your own fruits or vegetables, and you have to depend on them. See what I'm saying? A lot of people thinking, organic is better. Organic is, a new thing and, tastier, whatever. But they're not looking into the big picture. They're not looking at they don't come with seeds anymore. So you can't plant them even if you want to. You have to depend completely on them.
I'm not big on gardening and stuff because, at one time I used to be, but since my physical health has gone down, I built these little container gardens, elevated gardens that we use, and we use 5-gallon buckets too. And we planted tomatoes this year. We planted lettuce. We planted carrots. We planted cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, all this stuff, and made our own topsoil and stuff for them. And
I got a little
to tell you the
too.
truth, they're actually doing better off the ground growing on their own than being attached to the ground. Now, what does that tell you?
I think too. Listen to this, and I told you this before. One year I had tomato plants, and we didn't have that much rain that year. I watered them with regular water, out of the hose pipe kind of thing. It killed those tomato plants. It did. I never got tomatoes on them. It killed them dead. So now I always did not use nothing but pure rainwater. But I've noticed something about the rainwater now. Listen to this. Up until this year, I've been planting tomatoes. They're not growing near as fast as they did in the last few years that I had them. And I'm still using regular rainwater here. Nothing. I'm not putting any chemicals or anything in it. I'm using just like I always have. And it's not growing like it is. And like you and I, William, have talked about, there's something about the rain. If you look at the raindrops, it's not like it used to be.
Yep.
And that, I believe, is why the ground is not producing the way we want it to, because this is accumulating in the ground from rainfall.
Yeah.
Hey, have you guys heard of the frequency thing for the plants and the vegetables and such? Have y'all heard about that? I just saw a video the other day about a guy explaining that they have a secret way of growing the plants bigger and the vegetables, like they grow bigger with frequency, right? So they say that they say hold on 1 second. So they say that they play like Beethoven music, which is a higher frequency, out with the speaker to the plants, and they grow bigger. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, what the hell? Are you serious? I'm like, man, that's crazy. We would have never known that.
My grandmother used to grow stuff like
that.
And
it has to do with frequency.
She had a greenhouse, and she would talk to her plants, and they would grow like crazy. You could give me the same plant, take it home, I don't talk to it, the thing would probably die on me. But she would talk to them. And here's the interesting thing. I believe you can communicate with these plants, okay? No. You can communicate with them.
That's definitely, I talk to my plants. I talk to my plants, yes.
Vibration.
And they grow better.
Of your sound and your voice is a lot to do with that.
I learned that from my mom. My mom used to talk to her plants like, hey, beautiful, this and that, and pet them and kiss them and all that. And they grow real pretty, real nice. But if you don't, and they actually got experiments on that. Dennis, I'm glad you touched on that. They actually got experiments on that with the plant, right? Say a little bean sprout, right? And it's got a little 2-inch sprout growing, right? Both of them. Well, one of them, they talk nice and sweet to it. Yeah. One of them, they talk nice and sweet to it, and it grows real nice. The other one, they talk hate and bad and the bad energy, and it kills it, and they die. That I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. Like,
but that's just like if you have a dog or a cat. I
don't know if it's the frequency or if it's the bad vibration, but something it's got to do with that.
Well, the more attention you pay to your pet, the more attention you pay to it, the much better of a pet it will be. Okay, you form that bond, you form that thing going on. If you ignore it all the time, and unfortunately people do this to their children too, by the way. If you ignore them all the time, they're not going to have that connection with you. They're not going to develop the way they should. I mean, people should realize that. And plants are the same way. Plants communicate with each other, by the way.
Yeah, plants are living things. They don't speak, they don't talk, they don't have, but they feel. I think they feel the vibrations and the energy and all that, and that's what makes them happy or not, to where they die. Yeah.
Hey, you guys remember Bobcat Goldthwait, the guy from Police Academy that used to scream all the time when he talked?
Yes.
Can you imagine him talking to plants?
Oh, man. He'd probably kill him, man. He'd probably kill him.
Oh, yeah. And he'd fall over, bro. But here's what bugs me, okay? And I mean that literally bugs me, okay? There's also talking about us eating bugs now. Oh, they're good for you. They got a lot of protein and all this stuff. Where's that coming from and why? That kind of has some dark thing behind it to me. they're kind of sowing the knowledge out. Hey, it's not a bad thing to eat bugs. You may be having to do that one day to survive and all this stuff. And they're better for you than protein and all this bunch of junk. They're starting to seed these ideas, Carlito, into people's heads. That's what they're doing. It's an indoctrination. And it's going on. It's not only going on with children. Would you have thought, children, we would have drag queens going to talk to our children and all this stuff, they're indoctrinating children. I saw a teacher. Now listen to this. I got a lot of family that were teachers. Okay, I've always admired teachers. Teachers are good to be. They're very important people in our society. Their job is into food now. Yeah, indeed. Here's the thing about it. This teacher was spewing off this woke bunch of crap, this woke stuff and all this stuff. We got to do this. She was complaining about white supremacy and all this. She was white, by the way. But she would just sound, she sounded like a robot. And it sounded like a recording, And I'm thinking that, boy, baby, have you been indoctrinated? You've really gone over to their side that way. Here's the whole thing. Not only do they want to divide us in racial categories and in social categories, why do they want to divide us? Because you can rule over people better that way when you put them in classes. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and kids, that's why they started at a very young age, the indoctrination. We were all through that. We all went through that. Because kids are like sponges. You know what I'm saying? When you teach them something at a very young age, they're going to believe you 100%. And they're going to take that as a fact. They're not going to question you. They're not going to, and that's another thing. Like, kids can learn up to 3 languages when they're very little because they pick it all up like sponges. As to where adults, after you learned only 1 or 2, you don't want to learn anymore. You know what I mean? You're like, no, I'm too old for that. No, I can't learn that. You just tell yourself that. It's not true. You can, but I'm just saying, kids are like sponges, so they absorb everything you teach them at a very young age. And if you notice, when they're kids in school, this dinosaur, and this spacecraft and these astronauts and all this stuff, they indoctrinate all that into them, and they grow up thinking like, yeah, well, they taught it to me, so yeah, it has to be true, right? But then,
and if you get the children, Carlito, you've got the future.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely. If you win over the children, then you got the future. Yes, absolutely. You're correct on that.
Well, I mean, if you want to go one step further with that whole indoctrination thing and stuff and the schooling and all that, and how they're programming kids, think about how science is wrong when they talk about dinosaurs. They talk about dinosaurs being extinct. Well, some of them aren't extinct. I got news for you. Secondly, they said at one time, the dinosaurs were scaly, like a Gatorade and all that, and had scales and snakes and all that. No, now they're coming out saying, oh, you know what? Well, Velociraptor had feathers like a bird, it's like, they don't know. It's a speculation game.
And, I've mentioned this before, William. The biggest lie they told me when I was in school, the whole world's been explored. We know everything about it. That's the biggest lie that they ever told.
Exactly. And the oceans haven't been explored more than, 10%? Something like that?
Yeah.
William?
Yeah, and the jungles.
Imagine what's out there.
That no man's ever set foot in.
Yep, there's a lot of jungles, a lot of deserts that haven't been explored.
Could be underneath our feet, but that was the biggest lie they told. They probably told you that when you were in school, because they're still going. We've explored everything. The world's been. We're looking now to outer space. They haven't explored this planet. Not like
no, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Moon landing's a lie. Mars is a lie. And all of that is a lie. I mean, they try, but no, they haven't done it. They haven't actually done it. And another thing is like
a certain vaccine, and I'm not going to mention any names, but a certain vaccine when it first come out, take this, you'll be all right. And then later on, well, we didn't tell you that it won't keep you from getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lie, okay?
Yeah. I mean, imagine with
Whichever
all
way
the
you look
technology
at
we
it.
have now, Dennis, imagine with all the technology we have now, and they get billions and billions of dollars to work on things in NASA, right? And they can't even take a real picture of the Earth from the International
Without it
Fake
being
Station. Yeah, the
manipulated.
International
It has
Fake
to be
Station.
manipulated.
They can't take real video or pictures of the world. Today,
Well, why? Here's
2023.
the question it always struck me. Why does it
Doesn't
have to
make
be
sense.
manipulated? Can't you take just one picture of it and come out with it? Why do you have to get a piece of this, put it all together like a puzzle and all that? Why does it have to be manipulated? If your technology is that great, surely you could get one shot of it. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense when you think about it. Their excuses do not hold water. They hold about as much water as a screen door.
Well, and it's not just the excuses. It's just the blatant lying. That is the thing. You know, we're all sick
Exactly.
of it.
Yes,
we're all
exactly.
just
It's the
completely sick.
lying.
And
Why do they have to lie?
yeah, it's like I've always said. We're the ants. We're the cattle. But what happens when a cattle stampedes or the ants revolt? You got millions of them or thousands of them if they're cattle and they're stampeding, and you're not going to be able to stop them until they want to stop on their own. So
Well,
they're trying.
That's
one
absolutely
thing.
right. Have you seen William? Have you seen the movie Ants? I remember seeing that with my daughter when she was real kid, right? When she was like maybe 2-3 years old. And that's what that guy said, and I was like, "Holy crap!" They said it on the Disney movie where the guy said, "Okay, he throws a pebble, right? He's like, what does that do?" He's like, "Oh," and he laughs at it, right? The general ant, right? The army ants, and like, what does that do to you? He's like, nothing. He's like, oh yeah, what does this do? He throws like 2 or 3 of them, nothing. He just laughs at it. He's like, what does this do to? And he pulls the thing, and a bunch of them come down. And they knock him over and all that. And he's like, oh, he's like, yes, exactly. If the ants know that they can stand up and rebel against us, it's all over for us. Like, man, that's a prime example for the.
Somebody said this, Carlito, about Nancy Pelosi. Okay, she still has nightmares every night about the 50 million people that voted for Trump. What if they were to rise up tomorrow? She'd have a job. You call
Right.
that January 3rd. What would have really, if they'd have really rose up, what would have happened? And that has to be scary to them. Think about it. An army. And here's another thing. Okay, let me say this about the second article of the Constitution. Okay, the ownership of guns. Okay, listen to this. The armies of the United States of America have not really kept this country free. The politicians have not kept this country free. The money that this country has is not. You know what's kept this country free? It's those 300 million gun owners sitting out there tonight. That's why Russia hasn't come into this country yet, and that's why China doesn't want to come in this country. There's 300 something million gun owners out there. You got a problem. That's the biggest standing army the world's ever seen.
Yep.
That's what scares these people. Is that lack of that power, that control that they want. That's exactly what their nightmares are all about.
Yep. I agree. Oh man, everybody's talking container gardens. Carlito, turn your mic on.
Shit, sorry, man. I forgot I had muted. That's what I'm saying. I mute myself every time I'm not talking. That way, the noise reduction thing.
I saw the hands going.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I was saying, man, it all goes back to control. Control is the big word, the key word here, and it goes back all the way to the elite. Another thing I wanted to mention, William, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the elite, the owners of the world, Rockefeller, what's that other guy name you said a while ago?
Rothschild.
Rothschild. And there's a bunch of other ones, but anyway.
Bushes.
Yeah, those are the main ones. But did you ever see that those guys, they try to take over the world, and you know the only country that they haven't take over with their central bank system, you know, because they have central banks all over the world, right? And they bought out every other country. You know, the only one they haven't bought out, and they still can't, Iran. Iran is the only one that they cannot buy for some reason or buy out, and that's why they're always going into war with Iran. Because of that. That's the main reason. I don't know if people knew that, but I've known that for many years.
Iran is very rich in gold and other minerals too. So they've got a gold-backed money system there.
Yeah, but Iran doesn't allow the elites to bring their central banking system to their country. That's the thing. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of like Monopoly. If you buy, you know, land here, properties, then you're all over the place, right? But if one person doesn't let you buy property there and establish your bank there, then you're not going to have any power over that. You know what I mean? And that's what they want. The elites, that's what they want. They want power over the whole world.
That's what I'm going to be doing a show on here pretty soon is because I'm going over the whole survival thing because it's getting down the wire. And I want to be doing another survival show and talk about the whole digital currency and all that, and what we should do to prepare for it. Right now, currently, there are several states, New Hampshire, Utah, and several other states. I believe Wyoming, Montana is going to do it, and a couple others, South Dakota, I believe, are making their own currency. And it's literally currency that can't be duplicated, can't be, reproduced.
Right.
It's made with real gold. Okay. And they're called gold-backed dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
And what it is,
I'm gonna put some input into that right now when you finish.
You can actually buy it in a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $20 bill, $10 bill, a $50, a $100. Doesn't matter. Most of them are $1, $5, $10, and $20 bills that are being sold because of the frequency you're going to be using them to buy things.
Right.
Each individual bill has the exact amount weight in gold if you melt it down to cover that amount of the bill. Okay. So yeah, I mean it's a really, really good system, I think, and it's taking the gold-backed money system to a whole nother level.
Right.
But when they switch over to digital currency, the world's going to do that pretty soon. It's coming down the line.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to.
When they switch over to that, who's going to have control of your money then? You won't have control over your money anymore.
No. And you know what? That's what I wanted to talk about. That Joe's here from Hellbent Holler tonight, guys. Anyway, by the way, hey Joe, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming, man. I invited Joe over tonight from Hellbent Holler. He said that's why they killed Gaddafi. Yes, absolutely. That's why they killed Gaddafi, because he wouldn't turn into their standards or to their, you know, he wouldn't give in to what they wanted, you know, with his country. But going back to the coin that you were saying, William, you know, that's why I think they introduced the Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? Bitcoin, crypto coin, cryptocurrency, whatever the hell that is. You know, it's all just, it's not real money. It's you know, it's just how they're handling it, where you got your money here, and let's say you got, you know, $1,000, we're going to put it into your Bitcoin account, and it's not going anywhere unless you get it out, whatever. But it's not real money. See what I'm saying? And that's what they're starting to introduce with Bitcoin and crypto coin and all this. They're starting to trying to introduce that idea into our heads where we can have money without having money. See what I'm saying? But they're going to control it. They're going to control all that. So who's to say?
That's what it is.
Right. And who's to say, Dennis, like you mentioned, who's to say if you put $1 million there today and something happens, war happens tomorrow or something, boom, your money's gone. You have no control over that money whatsoever. You can't even go take it out of you know, whatever, because there's no banks. It's just all through the internet.
Right.
But you can't even, you know, have control over your money. And they're going to have all the control over that money from all the people. So everybody's going to be, you know, effed, you know. in that case.
I want to address
And that's what they want to do. And they want to, and they want to take it even further than that. They want to implant you with the chip, with all your information, your money in there. So whenever you go buy something, you just scan your chip, and boom, it takes, you know, whatever money you're paying for at that moment. You know what I mean? But that's their way of trying to control us again. Control. So I just want to tell the people, don't fall for that. A lot of people contact me. A lot of people contact me on Messenger, William, and they're like, "Hi." I'm like, "Hi, who are you, or where do you know me from?" And they're like, "Oh, I was just wanted to see if you have a Bitcoin account yet." And I'm like, "No, you know what?" And I'm not interested. Thank you. And I'll stop them right there, right then and there. They're like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know." Blah blah blah. But they're trying to introduce that to everybody just randomly, you know.
Yeah.
I was going to address a comment in the coming up. I've talked to animals my whole life. They haven't locked me up yet. Okay, that's all I was going to say. But yeah, you know, Carlito, this is all about power and control. That's what it's all about.
Power and control. Yes, sir.
And you guess what they're going to do? What's going to happen next when they come out with a digital currency? They're going to come out with a social order or social system to back it up with. If you don't get so many points, if you go to work and you don't work so many hours, you don't get so many points, you don't get any food.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
they got you right where they want you.
Right. And like Joe said, mark of the beast. Exactly. He pulled it up just now. That is the mark of the beast. When they put a chip in you and you accept that, you know, without going out without a fight, you know, and be, you know, where they control you, then that's the mark of the beast, man. You know, because you're letting them control your life. You know, when we have free will, we were put on this planet by God, and we have free will.
Here's something you gotta remember, okay? You always brand your cattle.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Well, our cat, we've been branded since we were born. Just flip over your Social Security card. Flip over your Social Security card and look at the number in red.
The number.
That gives you a classification of what class of a person you are and what your net worth is going to be.
Yeah, and also they say that our birth certificates is proof of ownership, that they own you on that birth certificate.
Yeah, because it says what does it say? Grantor or something like that.
You're their property. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
we never knew that when we were little. You know what I mean? It's like we were never taught that either. So.
Well, here's another one for you. Everybody has a checkbook, right? Well, you know where you sign your checks and that line that you sign your checks on? Take a magnifying glass and look at that line you're signing on your checks, because it's a contract you're signing.
Yep.
It states in that line in little letters that it's a contract that you're signing to negotiate.
That's why if you don't sign that check, you don't cash it. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. You're going into a contract with it. See, that's what it's all about. And here's the whole thing, and what we were saying earlier about the New World Order and all this other stuff, and these dark forces that's in league with humanity, and I believe that without a doubt. Humanity, certain people in humanity, certain people in government situations have signed the contract with these things. Okay, they've gone into an agreement. They've signed the contract, and they're selling us out. That's what the whole deal is. They're selling us out because we're the cattle. See, that's it. That's what it's all about. But like I say, I think they found out that they're dealing with some pretty bad guys. That they've got the short end of that stick. You know.
Yeah.
They're coming out on the bad end of the deal, and that's what always happens when you.
If you look at the bloodline, okay, you take a look at the bloodline of all these so-called elite people, the 1% of the top 10%, you know,
the elite,
the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, you know, the royal family, you know,
royal families.
UK,
Hmm.
all those bloodlines are consistently all the way back in time. Their families have been in control of the
Hmm.
money, the and the riches in the world.
And they want to
Okay,
keep it that way.
it
Yes.
hasn't just happened. It hasn't just happened. Don't be BS'd. Okay, and then this
Hmm.
is the one thing I don't want people to be bullcrapped on being told and fed this spoon-fed lie about how the Rothschilds became rich in 1910 because of this that. No, it's been literally thousands of years that you can go back and trace their blood lineage all the way back to before the
And
time of Jesus.
what did Jesus say in the Bible, William? The rich you will always have with you.
Yeah. So
They've always been in control.
Yeah,
Day one.
it's always the same families, always the same families.
Yeah.
But now they're doing something different. Now they're actually adding to it. Okay, they're adding families to it that they think are of the caliber that they're wanting. And we all know the families I'm talking of. We're talking of the Cheneys, the Clintons, the Bushes. Those families. Are the ones that they're starting to incorporate into their little world. So,
Right. And if you notice also, William, I don't know how long it's been, but the bank cards that we had, remember it only had that little strip in the back? It used to only have the little strip in the back. Now they got chips, you know?
mm-hmm.
That's another way of controlling you, too. That's another way of, that chip can actually pinpoint your location at all times.
Oh yeah,
And we have that card in our wallet. That wallet's with us all, 24/7 at all times. Like I said, so if it's not with your phone, they can find you with the chip on your card. Yeah, on your bank card.
When you walk in Walmart, they know where you're at.
Yeah.
Well,
wherever you go, they've got the facial recognition thing.
I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm gonna tell everybody out there, and I'm gonna tell you guys a little trick. Okay, you take aluminum foil, heavy. It's what they call heavy aluminum foil. They sell it at Walmart. They sell it at Dollar Generals, all over the place. Okay, and you take and you wrap your cards in that. That'll block that chip from being read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got a little bag actually.
What do you wrap it around the card, or?
Yeah, you can wrap it around the card.
That you can buy the bag. Well, you put your phone and your card in it. They can't read it. It's a little bag you can buy, and it's got the aluminum foil in it. It's what it has.
Yep.
And it's a Faraday cage that you can carry around. That's what it is. It's a Faraday cage.
Hey, Carlito, I'll send you one.
I got one. Yeah.
Yeah. Send me one, man.
I'll send you one, Carlito. It'll be all right. But it's pretty cool. Basically it blocks any readings on that chip from getting out or being read from some, because they have these scans now on these phones, on these smartphones.
I got one here that you can put your card in.
That if somebody comes up close to you, like saying you're standing outside a Walmart, they can take their phone and they can hold it down by your wallet, wherever they think your wallet's at.
Yep.
And they can scan those chips and get your information off them cards to the phone.
Yeah. That's what's so scary about it. Like anybody could just walk up close to you and just steal your information.
Doing that, you put your card in it.
They can steal your information if you have it on your phone too, William. Like if you buy things online, your phone saves all your information, all your codes, all your everything. They can steal that from your phone to phone. William, something tripped me out. I didn't know my phone, iPhone 11 Pro Max, right? I didn't know it had a damn AirDrop where I don't even have to use Bluetooth anymore, just AirDrop.
Yeah, you got. I'll turn mine off.
It's called AirDrop. And if you have it on, somebody can steal something from you. Yes, it can be hacked. Yes, absolutely. Yep. If you have the AirDrop on, that's crazy.
Another way they can hack you. Another way they can hack you, Carlito, is that Find My Phone thing. Remember that? Find My phone.
Find My Phone. Yeah, that's another way they can locate you. Yeah,
they can find you with. Yeah.
And this is just regular people that know how to get into that type of stuff. Not necessarily the government. The government knows where you're at all times.
I found this out when I first went into law enforcement, okay? You remember, I'm talking about regular landline phones. You know that they're never off. You know that, even hung up on the hook. They can listen. They can listen into them, even when they're hung up. And you know, if they can do that with landlines,
even if you turn off your phone.
Your cell phone.
Even if you turn off your phone, Dennis.
I had a program, listen to this one time. I had it on my walkie-talkie. I could go down the street and listen to people on their cell phone.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Wow.
I've
heard of it, but I've never.
Both sides of the conversation, I could with that walkie-talkie now, and I had it fixed. It was hacked to do that. That was when the cell phones first came out. I could listen to cell phones all day long. No doubt.
Right.
So listen, whatever we have, we got to realize this, okay, people. Whatever we've got can be hacked.
Oh yeah.
It can be used against us, no matter what. What's the first thing they give you when you come to this country? A cell phone. Why?
Yeah. I've heard of that. And you know what, too, Dennis? That even if you turn off your phone all the way and then you take the battery out, the phones that you can still take the battery out, they can still tap in and hear what you're doing, what you're saying, all that, even without the battery. Because it's got an internal battery. See? It's got an internal battery, backup internal battery that we don't know of. Only they know.
Right.
So they use that to listen in. And that's why every time.
If you take the battery, you got to realize, even in this tablet I'm using right now, but not with you. There is a little battery that keeps the data and everything. It keeps power on your device, no matter if you take the regular battery out. Okay, you got to realize it's still powered up. Phones do that. Phones have it in them. Cell phones have it in them. TVs have that in them. Tablets, all of them have that little button battery in there. Okay.
Yes.
And they can find you with that. And don't forget that everything we use like that is pinging off of a tower, and they can read them towers. Here's another question. I don't know if you ever heard this or not.
They listen in.
This is true now. I'm not making this up. Every third tower is not real. It's not a real cell tower. What the heck is it? It's something the government has.
Yeah.
It's keeping tab on the cell phone. It's not a regular cell tower.
Yeah, well, if you're, it doesn't matter, but if you're close to a tower, cell phone tower, any cell phone tower, or be it a 5G, that's even worse, they can listen into like a whole neighborhood, and they can pinpoint every person in every house and listen in, and they can jump to one phone to another phone to another phone to listen in what you're saying.
I can get on my phone right now and look at your house from space. I can look at your house. I could see you if you went out in the yard way that. I could see you.
Yeah, no. And
that's scary. Think about that.
Yeah, and
next time you go outside, I hope Dennis ain't looking at me.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to bring up a comment. Werewolf, he said self-checkout, scan your face. That's true. And that's why I hate using shit. So the skin in the face. When if I use it, whatever, I look at the camera and go like this. That's what I do. But besides that, we don't need to be using a self-checkout. That's why it's their store. They need to have, cashiers to, charge us for our products that we're purchasing, right?
Right.
Why did this idea come about where we had to use self checkout? That to me sounds like they're trying to cattle us, like cattles, and say run through this here, do your own purchase, scan all your stuff, and then go about your day. You know what I mean? That's a form of control. Yeah, that's a form of control, and I don't like it. I've been to stores where there's a big line. And one of the ladies there says, "Hey, don't you want to just come through here real quick?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm good, thank you. I'll wait my turn."
We don't get paid by Walmart. We're working for them.
Exactly, we don't work for them. Why should we? Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always said. We don't work for them. Why should we do their job? That's their job. And so, like I said, sometimes they see me and they're like, "Hey, you only got one or two things. You don't want to go through here? It's a lot quicker." I'm like, "No, I'm good, thank you. I'll wait my turn here." You know. Because that's their job. That's the point I'm trying to make to them. Yeah, I can go to that thing and get out of there quicker, but no.
Earlier, Carlito,
that's a form of controlling.
All this is leading up to the mark of the beast. The Bible talks about. That's what this is all leading up to. Because it ain't going to be a great idea when they put that chip in you and you won't carry a phone or card anymore. They've got a phone now. I don't know if you know this. I told William about this. They've got a phone. It looks a little button. Clips on your lapel, and you can answer your phone on your hand. You can see a screen on your hand. You can answer the phone call. You can text without a phone. You don't need a cell phone anymore. Just this little button phone. And you can do everything with it. You can answer a call. You can text or whatever you want right there on your hand.
Yeah, go ahead, William.
I just want to let Ted know I'd be happy to sit next to a campfire with him anytime, buddy. So that'd be nice. It's going to come a time where we're all going to need campfires to keep warm. I'm telling you, because when the masses rebel, and they will, okay, there's going to come a time when people
it's coming.
Okay, and
there will be a resistance. There will be a resistance.
Yes.
And, the current so-called leader of the greatest free country in the world disclosed recently in a speech that, what are we going to do with our couple million people that have guns and stuff in this country against missiles, So he basically threatened.
They're going to take those guns away from you.
He basically take those guns away from you. Listen, though, he basically threatened every citizen that has a gun in this country. Yeah, every one of us.
Okay? Don't come for your gun.
Yeah, but I mean, if we all unite, it's not going to be easy for them to try to take our guns. But if we don't unite, and then they leave us with the people with our own guns, and the rest of the people just scared and go obey whatever they say, then it is going to be a tough fight. But they're like Dennis said.
Carlito, ask Ozzy Sue what happened when they took away guns in Australia. Everybody started getting stabbed.
That's the first thing Hitler did when he came into power. He took everybody's guns. He said, I'll give them guns when I want them to have guns. That's the first thing he did. Even if you take, look, okay, let's go back to the Bible. What did Cain kill Abel with? Abel killed him with a rock, okay? You don't need a gun to kill people with. Right, they blame the gun for everything. It's not the gun you need to blame, it's the people. People are the brains behind the gun. Gun has no brains. That's the first thing I was ever taught when I was a kid. Respect the gun. It has no brains and no eyes. You are the eyes and the brains of the gun. Why are they blaming the gun?
Right. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up, that maybe people should start looking into, survival skills and hand-to-hand combat. Because, okay, I kind of want to bring this up, like, okay, let's say ancient warrior, samurai, ninja, whatever you have. Those are deadly weapons, walking on two legs. They don't need guns. You don't see what I'm saying? Their weapon is up here. All the knowledge that they have, that they know 1,000 forms to kill you, 1,000 ways to kill you. You know what I'm saying? They don't need guns. So if a lot more people were to learn that, then there would be a bigger threat to the people with guns.
I was in martial arts for a long time, and here's the thing, okay? Mm-hmm. You use people against themselves. Use their force against them. That's the way you do it.
Right.
If you learn to do that, you don't need a gun or knife.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
what I was taught too here. This is before I got out of the military. I went through all the martial arts training, the judo and all that, taekwondo. And I actually got into the golden gloves and all that when I was younger. So I mean, handling myself has always been not a problem.
Hmm.
But you know, there is a technique out there that I have just recently learned, and it is called, and I'm sure Joe, if Joe's still in the chat, he's probably heard of this too.
Hmm.
It's the technique that the special forces use currently. They're being trained on the last few years, called rat fighting, RAT fighting. Okay, and it's a technique where you see, with the problem with martial arts is you're always thinking of the next move.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
always having to think one step ahead of your opponent.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
with rat fighting, you don't have to. Rat fighting is the dirtiest hand-to-hand
Dirty
combat,
fighting. That's what it is.
the dirtiest hand-to-hand combat fighting you'd ever want to see. Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
while
Exactly.
your opponent's trying to figure out what move to put on you, you're throwing dirt into his face so he can't
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Exactly. No.
then
Yeah.
you're just,
Exactly.
you're just going
Uh,
boom, 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 boom.
Right.
what it all
Like,
comes down to is the unexpected.
Hmm.
See,
yeah,
they can try to clock your move. Oh, he's going to do this and this. You're going to do that. Don't do what you want them to think you're going to do. Do something different.
Right.
You're
Right.
doing something, and that's where the dirty
Element
tactics
of
come in.
surprise. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what Bruce Lee tried to teach everybody too.
Yeah.
Remember in the
Hmm.
one line in the movie,
Yep.
he said,
Be water.
he said basically, what was it? The art of fighting without fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
it's what you want to do is you want to, instead of focusing and saying, oh, what a beautiful heaven above, don't look at all the heaven above, because you're going to get distracted basically.
Hmm.
Look at what's in
Hmm.
front of you.
Right.
And that's what he was trying to teach, was the fact that when you're dealing with martial arts, you're always trying to keep your mind occupied on what you're doing next, whereas Bruce Lee's techniques were usually after that effect or before that effect. You know what I mean?
Right, right, exactly. Oh, I don't know if I
I
ever
kind of
told you,
like.
William. I
I
don't know
kind
if I
of
ever
like
told
what
you, but
the
I studied ninjutsu for many years. So a lot of people don't know that about me. Tommy from my buddy Tommy Thomas Carlos knows that, and a couple other guys know that know me well. But yeah, I studied that, and that has to do a lot with survival. We used to train out in the forest. Out in the forest, that's where we used to train. Trees, bushes, crawling on the ground, streams, rivers, crossing streams, crossing rivers, all that stuff. That's survival skills, basically. You know what I'm saying? I trained that. I trained that for a lot of years, and so this is all going back to the hand-to-hand combat, guys. By the way, survival skills. Because if we do have, and it will happen, I believe it will happen. The NWO New World Order, then there's gonna be a group of people that are gonna try to survive going against the government roundup and the government controlling everybody.
Carlito, I kind of like
Yeah.
what the Spartans say. What the
Hmm.
Spartans say? They don't say, well, how many are the enemy? Well, where are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those, if that's true, those were some brave soldiers, man. The Spartans. But they were trained. And that's why they held a good fight, because there were only like 10,000 of them, and the enemies were like, millions of them or whatever, and they killed a lot of people. They killed hundreds and thousands of people, and there were only 10,000. So, or 3,000, whatever the movie says. But anyway, that's the whole general idea, that they knew how to fight. They knew how to battle. They knew how to kill. They knew how to, handle themselves very well.
Here's another thing,
And that's what this is coming to. That's what we're talking about. Martial arts, people, you need to learn some type of hand-to-hand combat. How to survive out in the in the woods and stuff like that. Because if an NWO comes, then you're going to be ready.
You don't want to look like a victim, okay? You want to put on a show of force that can say people will say, hey, I don't want to mess with this guy or this woman. I don't want to mess with them. I mentioned the Spartans earlier. Sparta was the only city in Greece that didn't have walls. They didn't need them. They had the Spartans, okay? And force speaks for itself. Strength and power speak for itself. That's what's wrong with our society today. We have that victim mentality too much. We're always going around scared. We got to get out of that, And your confidence, especially in hand-to-hand combat or any type of survival skill, confidence is the number one thing you want to have. That's what strengthens your power over these things, And people got to get that confidence going. You got to be confident in what you're doing. And other people see that, They pick up on it.
Yeah. I just, the whole New World Order thing is, if the people that were being controlled, and I'm talking to law enforcement, first responders, lawyers, doctors, military, if those people that were being told what to do by the 1% elitists that our New World Order is doing, if they would just step back and say, no, we're not going to do it for you, that would be it. It'd be over.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is they're so brainwashed and thinking that they're going to get something from these elitists that they don't care, So,
well, we become complacent like the cattle. The cattle don't question as long as they get feed and water. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. People stop trying to be so complacent, and people stop being so dependent on what the government and the stores and the food in the stores and your bottled water. Learn how to make purified water out of a stream, out of a river. Learn how to grow your own vegetables. Learn how to survive. Learn how to make a fire. Learn all that, because you never know, you might need it. And I do think that time is coming, man. And a lot of people need to learn that, because if not, they're gonna be stuck like, oh shit, Carlito was right. Damn, I should have studied all that shit, to survive, because there's New World Order now. You know what I mean? That's why I'm just trying to hint that to people. Learn how to do all that.
And water is very important, Carlito. You're not gonna make it 3 days without water. That's the one thing you better be getting down pat first. That water source.
And there's ways of purifying water.
Yep.
But they got to look into it. Like Eddie Bravo says, look into it.
I've been doing a lot. People ought to go on YouTube and see a lot of these survivalist things. I've been looking at a lot of these plants that they show, and you can get water and moisture out of plants. We all know about the cactus out in deserts. You can do that, but there are other plants.
Did you know you can get water out of trees? Did you know you can get water out of trees?
Yeah. So there's ways to get it, but you better be learning on how.
You gotta know how. Yeah, you gotta
be planning on it, because it may come down to that, Yeah. And like I say, that's the number one El Primo thing there is water. You're not gonna make it 3 days without it.
Right. Yeah, and if you have to, like, say we're in a desperate situation, like what was that movie Red Dawn, William, where where these kids went out in the woods and tried to survive while this whole war thing was going on, right? Okay, Well, you got to learn how to do that too. Like if you're gonna
Yep.
kill if you're gonna kill a rat, out in the forest, or prairie rat or whatever, to eat, to survive, right? Not just fish, or that's another good one too. Spear fishing or whatever, without the rod, of course. There's a lot of ways to fish. Actually, there's people that throw just a hook out there and know what to do to catch a fish with just a hook and a line, no rod. Look into that too. But you got to learn how to catch these animals if you want to eat them, right? And you got to know what plants to eat, what plants not to eat. They can be harmful, they can be venomous, they can be have some type of rash thing going. You got to know how to learn, or know how to spot these things. You know what I mean, and learn how to kill a rat, or because if that comes down to my existence, I will kill a rat and I will eat it, including raw, because it is meat. It's just not cooked.
You got to sharpen your greatest resource. That's the thing right here.
Did you know? Did you know that
comes down to
Did you know that very, very, very professional, very professional. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because the screen went kind of. Okay, good. Did you know that very, very professional snipers have laid in the forest for days, almost a week, and the way that they survive besides the food that they have, is if a rat or an animal goes close enough to their distance where they can grab them and kill them and eat them right then and there. No cooking, no fire, no nothing. Just eat them. They just take the skin off and eat them, just like that.
That's
a survival tactic. That's a survival. Yeah.
You are energy.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that energy. I don't care how you do it. You got to keep that energy supplied.
Right, enough to survive.
Or you run out of energy. That's just like a car out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give everybody out there a helpful hint. With my military background, a lot of the things that we do to survive long term out there in the wilderness or in the jungle, wherever we're stationed, and our whatever we're supposed to be doing. But there is a little secret that you can take a little bottle, just about a 2.5 ounce bottle of plastic bottle, and fill it up with olive oil. Okay. And what you want to do is, when you're out, and if you start to feel sluggish or tired and all that, put about 4 drops of that olive oil on your tongue. Okay. And swallow it. Okay. That's going to give you enough to sustain yourself to keep on going. Okay. So I always tell everybody, when they're packing a bug out bag or a bug in bag, make sure you got some kind of olive oil with you, or something along that lines that you could put on your tongue and use that energy and that protein from that whatever it is you're using. So, but olive oil.
What the old cowboys, William, used to carry around, jerky.
Yeah.
That was a good thing. You could put that in your bug out bag. That's a good thing. Take a bite of that when you need it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's perfect to stay alive for another day. Beef jerky, and it doesn't take up a lot of space.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just trying to say that's my kind of way of helping people look into that, look into survival tactics, look into survival mode to kill an animal that you never thought you would eat before, but you have to because you want to survive. Roaches, those big tree roaches, they say those are perfect to stay alive because they have a lot of protein in them. Yes, they're disgusting. I know. I kill them all the time. But I would never think of eating them unless my life depended on it. You see what I'm saying?
Number one rule of survival: do what you got to do.
Yes.
No matter what.
Well, guys, I think we're at the end here. It's past midnight here on my end.
Okay, yeah, it's 11 where I'm at, so yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
it's been
Well,
a
it was
it's been a long night. Man,
yeah,
we've gotten a lot talked about. I think I will put together a survival program
yeah. You
and
know
start
what?
teaching.
By the way,
You
I'll
know
answer
what?
this comment here. The good way to dry meat is with one of these air fryers. You can really dry meat good with them, and a lot faster than the old technique. By the way, they
Yeah,
actually teach you how to do that. Yeah.
All you really need to do to dry it is, I mean, back in the day, we just salted it and hung it out to dry.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you got an oven, you can set your oven to like 250 and put them on a tray. Put the slice of jerky sized pieces of meat on a tray, and set your oven to 250. Crack the door open about that far, okay, and just let it slowly cook over a certain period of time. I think it's like 4 hours, maybe five, and then you just constantly season it to whatever seasoning you want to put on it. So, and that'll make your jerky too that way. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been great being here with you guys tonight, man. William and
Yeah, it's
Dennis.
good to see you
Yeah,
again, bud.
yeah. It was a great topics tonight, man. I think it was great.
we'll be
Loved
doing
it.
this. We'll be doing this every
Every
Friday.
week.
Every
Yeah,
Friday, actually.
every Friday.
Until I can get the channel going.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll do this on this channel too. Where we can talk these type of subjects, and then
Right.
on the other ones, I'll bring you guys on, and we can talk about whatever we want to get away with.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We
Uh,
need to look for a name for this particular show, William. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Me, you, and Dennis. You know what I mean? Every Friday. You
yeah.
we'll
know,
call it the dark side. I don't know. Come on over to the
yeah,
dark side.
yeah. Dark side conspiracies with Carlito or something. I don't know.
Over
we
on the
need,
dark side.
yeah. We need
Yeah,
a,
we'll figure something out. We'll get our heads together and figure something out.
yeah.
So, but I
Sounds good.
appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you all in the chat. You all
Yes.
been
Thank
great.
you. Thank you, guys.
You know, and Joe gets our first timer badge tonight. So
Yeah. I invited him to see if he wanted to, listen into this type of stuff, and it looked like, yeah, it did interest him a little bit. That's why he mentioned the thing about Gaddafi, but yeah, just so you can kind of get away from just the cryptid stuff, you know what I mean, and
yeah,
have an open mind for other things too.
yeah.
So
Sometimes you focus on too much on the one subject, and you kind of lose a little bit of your
yeah,
Yeah.
skepticism
yeah,
and your analytical way of thinking. So
yes,
It's good to go
absolutely.
sometimes,
off the rails every now and then.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Or if you're
Yeah,
like
so
me, you're off the rail all the time.
yeah, so if you guys
I'm
like
off the
conspiracy
rail
theories and
anyway
stuff
most of
like
the time.
that, this is the place to come every Friday, guys.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all
All right.
very much. Ted, Fast Tammy,
Peace out,
Lori,
everybody.
Darcy,
Lori,
every
Lori Barnes, Darcy.
yep,
Yes, thank you,
Strange
guys.
Land.
Werewolf.
Everybody out there's been fantastic. Ted,
Yep. Strangeland.
and
Yep.
Ted,
Joe
you
showed
get
up.
that campfire. Ted gets that campfire going. I'm joining them. So as
Yeah,
long as
man.
we get
Yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
as long as we got coffee, I'll be there. So. All right,
Absolutely.
everybody. We'll see you all later. You have a great night. We'll see you in the morning. Remember, in the morning, we're going to have the sticker giveaway and
Yes.
something else. We're also going to have the survival bracelet giveaway. So
Yes. Yes.
we'll see
Oh,
you all in 10 days.
William, can I make a little announcement? Just a little one.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
have a guest. I have a guest tomorrow on my channel, Cryptid and Paranormal Kingdom, guys. He's a dogman eyewitness. His father, it's in his father's property, so he's going to be telling the story, but it's really happening to his father and his property. So, if you guys want to check that out, that'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Yeah, thank you. And I'll see you guys next week. Dennis and William, thank you, man.
All right.
Have a good one, brother. All right, man. All right, bye.